Nobody expected Jaguar Wright of all people to be the one to step forward. But when she did, she didn't whisper, hint, or suggest anything. No, she dropped a bomb so heavy that it sent shockwaves through every corner of the internet. And what she exposed wasn't gossip, wasn't speculation, wasn't some vague, alleged detail people could brush off. She claimed to have receipts, real, concrete receipts, linking Erika Kirk to powerful, hidden, off-the-books figures Charlie never wanted involved in his life. And according to Jaguar, Charlie wasn't just uncomfortable with those connections. He was trapped by them. Jaguar started speaking during a late-night live stream, her tone sharp, her words deliberate. She didn't mince anything. She said, "Y'all only see what she posts. You don't see who she answers to. You don't see the people behind her." Charlie felt trapped, and he told somebody. The internet froze. Who was she referring to? What people was Erika allegedly connected to? And how could Charlie, one of the most outspoken, confident public figures, feel trapped by anyone? Jaguar leaned in closer to the camera, almost whispering, "There's a reason his energy changed. There's a reason he pulled back, and she wasn't acting alone." That sentence detonated across social media, because if Erika wasn't acting alone, if she had support, guidance, or pressure from hidden figures, if there were secret hands involved behind her decisions, then the entire narrative around her shifts, instantly. Screenshots began spreading. Clips of Jaguar's livestream went viral. People flooded comment sections demanding answers. But what Jaguar revealed next left fans stunned, confused, and terrified for Charlie. Because she didn't just expose Erika's connections, she exposed the moment Charlie realized he was trapped, and who he believed was controlling Erika from the shadows. And that part is where everything turns dark. Long before Jaguar Wright ever opened her mouth, long before her live stream shattered the internet, long before the bombshell phrase "Charlie felt trapped" tore through social media like a hurricane, the tension had already been building, quietly, invisibly. In private rooms, whispered conversations, late-night calls, and subtle moments that most people overlooked. Because Erika Kirk's public image, polished, calm, strategic, all smiles and Christian aesthetic, was never the full story. It was the marketed story, the branded version, the carefully engineered persona she presented to the world. But behind the scenes, there were cracks, deep cracks. Cracks that people inside Charlie's world noticed years before the public did. People close to the situation now admit that Erika never operated alone. She wasn't the lone architect of her rise. She wasn't climbing by charm or brilliance alone. She had connections, powerful ones. And she protected those connections with an intensity that made insiders uneasy. But nobody dared question her. Nobody challenged her. Nobody pushed back. Because Erika had a way of making you believe she knew more than she should. Like she had access to information others didn't. Like she had protection others didn't. It started way back during Charlie's rapid rise. A period when he was meeting everyone, traveling constantly, speaking everywhere, and shaking hands with donors, strategists, influencers, and political powerhouses. People expected Erika to simply support him, help him organize, be by his side. But she didn't just stand next to Charlie. She inserted herself into circles he wasn't fully trusting yet. She engaged with people he was still evaluating. She communicated privately with individuals Charlie had explicitly said he wanted distance from. Insiders say the first red flag appeared when Charlie asked her, "Who told you to contact them?" And Erika reportedly replied, "It's better if you don't know." That phrase, that single cryptic sentence, was one Charlie never forgot. People around him saw the shift immediately. He became more guarded, more tense, more suspicious of the people around Erika. He started asking questions. He started noticing who she texted. He started watching who she met at events. And slowly, painfully, he realized something that would haunt him for months. Erika was taking direction from someone else. Someone Charlie didn't choose. Someone he didn't trust. But the biggest turning point came during a private retreat, months before any public fallout. According to multiple insiders, Charlie became noticeably quieter around Erika. He seemed uncomfortable. He seemed preoccupied. He was being cautious with what he said around her. One person who attended the retreat said, "He looked like he was walking on eggshells, like he was worried anything he said would end up somewhere else." Another recalled, "He kept asking people, 'Did Erika talk to you?' Like he was connecting dots." But the moment that truly rattled people happened one evening when Charlie's closest friend overheard him say, "I don't know who she's answering to anymore." That sentence hit like ice. Answering to? Why would Erika be answering to anyone other than him, their team, or the normal channels? Who was she involved with? Who influenced her decisions? Who was guiding her behind the scenes? Nobody had answers. Until Jaguar Wright started talking. And Jaguar didn't come into the picture randomly. She had been observing Erika from a distance for months, watching the patterns, watching the alliances, watching the inconsistencies in her public behavior. Jaguar claimed that Erika wasn't just connected to powerful figures. She was supported, funded, groomed, and directed by individuals who wanted influence over Charlie without ever having to access him directly. According to Jaguar, they couldn't manipulate Charlie, so they worked through her. Fans were shaken. Because if that was true, if Erika was acting as a conduit, a channel, a puppet, Charlie wasn't just dealing with a complicated partner. He was dealing with a network he never agreed to be part of. A network that didn't ask for permission. A network that moved in silence. Jaguar went deeper. She described a moment, one she claims came from a source close to Charlie, where he confided in someone he trusted. "It doesn't matter what I say." She hears something else later and her whole mood changes. Mood changes. Attitude shifts. Sudden tension. Insiders corroborated that there were nights where Erika would leave the room to take a call and come back acting a completely different way. Dismissive, irritated, distant, or suddenly emboldened. Charlie noticed. He grew anxious. He began distancing himself emotionally. He confided in select friends. He vented in safe spaces. One friend allegedly asked him, "What's really going on?" Charlie reportedly stared at the floor and whispered, "She's connected to people I don't want near me." This was months before the fallout. Long before Erika's slip-ups. Long before Dave, Mickey's wife, or any audio leaks. Charlie was already feeling pressure, already feeling boxed in, already feeling trapped. But the darkest moment came when Charlie's parents, the two people who always sensed Erika's energy, tried to talk to him. They didn't accuse Erika. They didn't attack her. They just expressed their concern. An insider close to the family recalls the conversation. "We don't think she's being honest with you." Charlie reportedly responded, "It's complicated." They told him, "If it's complicated now, it'll become dangerous later." Charlie said the words that still haunt the people who heard them. "I can't get out of this right now." Out of what? A relationship? A situation? A trap? Jaguar believes it was all three. And what Jaguar exposed during her livestream wasn't random. She claims she knows exactly who Erika's secret connections were. She claims her sources told her the names. She claims Erika wasn't acting independently. Jaguar even said, there were people behind her he never saw coming. And when he realized who she was aligned with, he felt trapped. Fans immediately connected this comment to Charlie's behavior in those months. The stiffness in interviews, the sudden mood shifts, the tension at events, the way he kept trying to distance himself from certain decisions. He wasn't confused. He wasn't overwhelmed. He was trying to navigate a situation where he wasn't the one in control. One source even claimed, he said he felt like every move he made was being watched, not by her, but by the people she reported to. That line shocked fans more than anything Jaguar had said. Because if Erika was reporting back, if she was carrying information, if she was influenced by hidden connections, that meant Charlie's discomfort wasn't paranoia. It was real. Jaguar emphasized this repeatedly. She wasn't working alone. She never was. That's why he felt trapped. He couldn't push back without pushing back against them. But Jaguar didn't stop there. Her biggest bombshell was still coming. She promised she had the name, the organization, the exact person who Erika was allegedly tied to. And she said the moment she reveals it, people will rethink everything they thought they knew about Erika's motives. But before she dropped the name, before she exposed the connection, before she pointed out the shadow figure behind Erika, Jaguar paused. She looked into the camera and said, "This goes deeper than y'all think. And the person behind it? Charlie never wanted that individual anywhere near his life." Fans lost their minds, and Jaguar wasn't done, because she ended her live stream with one final line. A line that sent a shiver through millions. "I'm not the only one who knows. Someone close to Charlie has the messages, and they're tired of being quiet." Meaning, there are messages, receipts, screenshots, proof, and someone close to Charlie is preparing to drop them. And when those messages leak, Erika's entire network, the connections she hid, the people she answered to, the figure pulling her strings, will be exposed. The major conflict didn't erupt all at once. It built slowly and quietly, like a pressure tank that had been rattling for months, but nobody realized how close it was to bursting. Jaguar Wright's livestream wasn't the beginning of the chaos. It was merely the first time someone brave enough said out loud what insiders had been whispering behind closed doors. Erika wasn't acting alone, and Charlie knew it. But it wasn't until Jaguar hinted that secret connections existed, connections Charlie never wanted anywhere near his world, that the internet began digging deeper. And what investigators, insiders, and anonymous leakers uncovered next sent the story spiraling into the darkest territory yet. Because the truth was this: Charlie didn't feel trapped, metaphorically. He felt it literally. He felt watched. He felt listened to. He felt pressured. He felt surrounded. And it all came to a head one night. The night insiders now call the locked room incident. It happened during a private event at a resort, months before the fallout. The event was supposed to be simple. Donors, staff, speakers, a few private sessions. Nothing unusual. But according to one staffer who attended, Charlie looked tense from the moment he arrived. He kept checking over his shoulder like someone was following him. Another insider confirmed, he wasn't nervous. He was uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. The tension escalated when Erika entered the room. Witnesses say Charlie's expression changed instantly. His jaw tightened, his shoulders stiffened, his voice lowered. Like he knew she wasn't alone. Like he knew someone she worked with was nearby. Like he knew whatever she said in that room wouldn't stay between them. Minutes later, Charlie pulled one of his closest friends aside and whispered something that was later leaked. "She keeps bringing those people around. I didn't agree to this." "What people?" the friend asked. Charlie shook his head. "I don't know what she's involved in, but this isn't what I signed up for." That friend later told someone else. He sounded scared. Not of her, but of who she was tied to. But the real breaking point came during a private breakout session, one that Erika attended, even though multiple witnesses confirmed she was never on the attendee list. She wasn't supposed to be in the room. She wasn't invited. She wasn't needed. Yet she showed up, and she brought two men with her. Men nobody recognized. Men who didn't introduce themselves. Men who didn't speak. One insider later described them as observers, silent observers, the kind of people who look at you but don't blink. Charlie noticed the moment they entered. Witnesses say he froze mid-sentence, staring at the men as if he'd seen ghosts from a past he wanted nothing to do with. He didn't react angrily. He reacted like someone who'd been blindsided. After the session, he pulled Erika aside and whispered harshly. But witnesses standing close enough caught fragments of the conversation. Why are they here? We talked about this. I said no. Do you understand what no means? Erika replied with something cryptic. They're here to help. Trust me. Charlie's response was sharp, quiet, and filled with frustration. Stop saying that. I don't trust whoever's influencing you. Multiple insiders confirmed he used the word influencing, not advising, not supporting. Influencing. But what happened next is the moment everything changed. Charlie went into a private suite to calm down. He locked the door. He turned off his phone. He tried to decompress. But according to someone who was with him earlier that day, he said something chilling right before entering the suite. Every time she steps away to make a call, she comes back acting like someone told her what to say next. When he reappeared 2 hours later, witnesses say his entire demeanor had shifted. He looked drained. He looked defeated. He looked, as one insider put it, like he wasn't in control of his own life anymore. And that's when one of Charlie's closest staffers made a mistake. A small mistake that would lead to the biggest twist of the story so far. The staffer texted a colleague. He told me he feels watched. This is getting dangerous. That text was later screenshotted. That screenshot was later leaked. And when Jaguar Wright saw the leak, she recognized the pattern immediately. Jaguar went public the next day saying, I know exactly what that is. I've seen this before. She's tied to the wrong people. Somebody is feeding her, guiding her, pushing her, and Charlie felt trapped because he didn't know how to get out without blowing everything up. Her words hit fans like a sledgehammer. But this wasn't even the first twist. This was just confirmation. The first twist came when an anonymous insider leaked a message Erika sent to someone saved in her phone under the name HMX Contact 2. The message read, "He's questioning things again. What do I tell him?" Fans lost their minds. Who was HMX Contact 2? Why did she need guidance? Why did she need to tell him anything directed by someone else? Why wasn't she speaking to Charlie directly and honestly? But the real bombshell came when a second leaked message surfaced, sent from HMX Contact 2 back to Erika. Keep him calm, keep him compliant. We're almost there. Compliant, compliant. The internet exploded. Charlie wasn't paranoid. Charlie wasn't overreacting. Charlie wasn't imagining things. He was being influenced. He was being monitored. He was being pressured. And he wasn't imagining that Erika was connected to people he didn't trust. HMX Contact 2 was real. But who were they? What did HMX stand for? What were they almost at? Why did they need Charlie compliant? The speculation was overwhelming. Shadow donors? Political strategists? A covert network? A family member? A religious group? A PR powerhouse? A foreign advisor? A corporate influence ring? But then, Jaguar Wright returned with a second live stream. And that's when she dropped the first major twist. Charlie didn't feel trapped because of Erika's personality. He felt trapped because she was tied to people who wanted a piece of him. Jaguar paused, stared into the camera, and said, "People who didn't care about Charlie the person, only Charlie the asset." Fans froze. Asset. But she wasn't done. Jaguar added, "The messages are real. HMX is real. And the worst part? Erika wasn't acting like herself. She was acting like them." Jaguar ended with a chilling warning. The receipts are about to drop. Someone has the full thread. Meaning, The entire conversation between Erika and HMX Contact 2 exists. Screenshots, timestamps, context, all of it. And someone close to Charlie is preparing to leak it. But the twist? The thread doesn't just expose Erika's connection, it exposes HMX's identity. And according to Jaguar, when y'all find out who HMX is, you're gonna understand why Charlie said he felt trapped. The escalation didn't just happen. It erupted, violently and uncontrollably, the moment Jaguar Wright hinted that the HMX contact wasn't some random associate, but a real, powerful figure pulling strings in the shadows. The internet didn't know who or what HMX was yet, but the single leaked message. Keep him calm, keep him compliant, we're almost there. Ignited an investigation unlike anything Charlie's circle had ever seen. People scoured every archived event, every donor list, every old email dump, every political filing, every leaked roster of strategy consultants. For hours, the internet turned into a swarm of digital detectives, each trying to piece together the puzzle. Who was HMX? Why did Erika report to them? What were they almost at? And why did they need Charlie compliant? But the more people searched, the more disturbing the patterns became. Because every leak about Erika's behavior suddenly made sense. Her abrupt mood changes, her coldness toward Charlie's parents, her secretive calls, her hidden notes, her anonymous meetings, her unexplained influence, her cryptic responses, her emotional volatility, her refusal to let Charlie distance himself. It wasn't random, it wasn't emotional, it wasn't personality, it was direction. And before the public could catch its breath, another leak surfaced. This time from someone who had worked at a private retreat months earlier. They revealed hearing Erika on the phone saying, "I told him what you said, but he's resisting again." Then, "No, he doesn't know I'm talking to you." Then, "Fine, I'll push harder." Push harder, a phrase that horrified the internet. Push him for what? Push him toward what goal? And why did she have to hide who she was talking to? People who once brushed off the whispers now realized the truth. Erika wasn't operating on her own ambition. She was following a script. But the escalation sharpened when a second HMX thread leaked. This one was longer, nearly 15 messages, and far more disturbing than the first. One message from Erika read, "He's asking where I'm getting advice. I can't stall him much longer." And HMX Contact 2 responded, "Deflect. Tell him it's intuition. He trusts that." Another message said, "His parents are becoming a problem again." HMX's response? Distance him from them emotionally. Frame it as stress. The internet went feral, because that one line confirmed the darkest theory. Erika's hostility toward Charlie's parents wasn't emotional or reactionary. It was strategic, instructed, planned, and Charlie was the target. Users online were horrified. This is literal manipulation. She was isolating him. HMX is sounding like a cult recruiter. But the biggest moment came when a third message emerged, the one that made thousands of people gasp. Erika wrote, "He's pulling back from the project. He's starting to question the entire plan." HMX Contact replied, "He can't back out now. Keep him locked in." Locked in, the phrase that trended for 48 hours straight, because people finally understood. Charlie didn't feel trapped in an emotional sense. He felt trapped because he was being pulled into a plan he never agreed to. And every time he tried to step away, Erika, under direction, kept pushing him deeper. But the internet wasn't ready for what came next, because another insider, one much closer to Charlie, finally spoke anonymously. They said, "He told us he felt like someone was using Erika as a pipeline to get to him." Pipeline, meaning Erika wasn't the final destination. She was the conduit, the channel, the vessel. She was delivering Charlie's reactions, emotions, doubts, fears straight to someone else. Someone he didn't authorize, someone he didn't trust, someone he believed was trying to influence the direction of his entire public trajectory. But the escalation went nuclear when Jaguar Wright returned with a new live stream. This time, she wasn't hinting. She wasn't dancing around the truth. She wasn't teasing. She came with names. Jaguar started by saying, "People keep asking what HMX stands for. Let me break it down. It's not a person. It's an operation." The internet froze. An operation? Not an individual? An entire network? Jaguar leaned into the camera. HMX is a code name, a small group. 3 people minimum, maybe 5, maybe more. And Erika wasn't connected to one of them. She was connected to all of them. Thousands of live viewers lost their minds. But Jaguar wasn't done. She claimed HMX's purpose was influence building. Steering personalities with large followings, helping mold narratives behind the scenes, controlling messaging, guiding careers without being visible. According to Jaguar, they tried to get close to Charlie years ago. He shut it down, hard. So they went through someone else. Erika. The comments exploded. "This is insane." So they targeted Erika to get to him? Jaguar is describing covert manipulation. Charlie didn't trust them. That's why they went through her. But then Jaguar introduced the shocking twist. One member of HMX wasn't just a strategist or donor or whispering insider. They were someone who had access. Someone already inside the orbit. Someone Charlie had met before and rejected. Jaguar said, that person held a grudge, and Erika became the perfect doorway back into Charlie's life. A grudge? People online lost their sanity, and that's when the first HMX roster leak appeared. A burner account posted a blurred list, 6 names blacked out, with redacted titles beside them. HMX1, Strategy. HMX2, Faith Outreach. HMX3, Influence Mapping. HMX4, Media Redirection. HMX5, Crisis Covert Assistance. HMX6, Emotional Leverage. The internet screamed at the final one, emotional leverage. Was Erika tied to HMX6? Or was she being used by HMX6? Nobody knew. But the biggest shock of the night came when a 4th message from Erika surfaced. It read, "I told him we're almost finished. He said he feels trapped." HMX Contact 2 wrote back, "Good. Pressure forces compliance." Good. Good? Pressure forces compliance? The backlash was immediate. This is sickening. This is psychological warfare. Charlie was a target. We didn't see it because Erika was the mask. Even influencers who previously supported Erika began issuing statements distancing themselves from her. But the escalation climaxed when the insider closest to Charlie, the same one who hinted at stored messages, finally broke. They sent one final devastating message to a journalist. Charlie never hated Erika. He hated who she became when she was around them. Them. Plural. Meaning Erika wasn't controlled by one puppet master. She was part of a system. And according to the insider, the part of the text thread that hasn't leaked yet contains one name. A name Charlie recognized. A name he feared. A name he begged Erika to stay away from. And that name is the identity of HMX4, the person responsible for the media manipulation around Charlie's fallout. And Jaguar swears, when that name drops, everyone's jaw will hit the floor. The public reaction didn't just explode. It detonated across every corner of the internet, creating a digital earthquake so violent that even people outside the political world were sucked straight into the chaos. The moment the HMX messages leaked, the story shifted from gossip to full-on conspiracy-level panic. Charlie's fans, Erika's critics, political commentators, YouTubers, TikTok investigators, celebrity personalities, everyone jumped into the storm at the exact same time. Twitter looked like it was on fire. One viral tweet said, "Pressure forces compliance? Are you kidding me? This is manipulation, straight up." Another, Charlie wasn't paranoid, he was trapped. Erika had a whole network behind her. And then the hashtag war began. Whoishmex. Charlie was targeted. Erika pipeline. HMX connection. Expose the network. Millions of tweets were posted within hours. TikTok went even harder. Creators pulled late-night live streams, dissecting the text messages line by line. Some recreated Erika's leaked conversations using voice actors. Others broke down the blurred HMX roster, trying to match the redacted positions with known political or influencer figures. A body language expert posted a viral breakdown of Erika in old footage. This is someone who's listening to a voice that isn't in the room. Watch her micro-reactions. Another TikTok creator dropped a chilling theory. HMX wasn't supporting Erika. They were using her. They needed someone close to Charlie to influence him emotionally. That video reached 8.6 million views in under 2 days. But the most gut-wrenching TikTok came from a former TPUSA volunteer who said, "Charlie once told us he didn't know who to trust because someone close to him was acting like a messenger for another group. Now it all makes sense." The comments exploded. Erika was the messenger. She delivered him like a package. Charlie tried to resist. He literally said he felt watched. Instagram influencers quickly joined in. Some posting black screen stories saying, "We knew something was off with her energy." Others said, "I remember the mood changes after phone calls. This explains everything." But then a beauty influencer with over 12 million followers posted. I overheard her once saying she needed to report back. Thought it was weird. Now I know. Her comment section was chaos. But the reaction that shook everyone came from a widely respected journalist. If HMX is real, and if Charlie sensed he was being influenced through someone close to him, this could be the biggest manipulation scandal of the year. Even comedians reacted. Many defending Charlie, many horrified by the HMX thread, and several saying Dave Chappelle's leak now made sense. Dave saw the patterns before the rest of us. But the most explosive reaction came from someone unexpected. An anonymous donor allegedly connected to Charlie's organization. This donor wrote in a leaked email, "We were warned about third-party infiltration. We didn't know it was coming through Erika." Donors panicked. Board members panicked. Staff panicked. Screenshots surfaced showing group chats inside Charlie's circle filled with messages like, "Did she actually work with them? How far did HMX get? We need to confirm who the contact was. Charlie said something months ago, but we didn't listen." One staffer wrote, "If the full thread leaks, HMX's identity will destroy several reputations." TikTok commentary grew more intense. Creators started identifying small behavioral patterns. The sudden shifts in Erika's public messaging, the inconsistency in her emotional reactions, the way she kept Charlie away from certain people, her hostility toward anyone who got too close to him emotionally. One viral theory said, HMX6, emotional leverage, molded Erika's reactions so she could manipulate Charlie's mental state for strategic outcomes. People were horrified. This is psychological manipulation. This is exploitation. This is a network using her as a weapon. But the drama escalated even more when the HMX roster image resurfaced. The blurred one with 6 positions. People began trying to guess. HMX1, a strategist. HMX2, a religious figure. HMX3, a data analyst. HMX4, someone connected to media. HMX5, a political fixer. HMX6, someone emotionally skilled. And then a rumor emerged that HMX4, the media redirection position, was not a random person, but someone once publicly connected to Charlie, a name that had been near him in the past, someone he pushed away, someone who had a reason to want influence back. The rumor went viral instantly. On Reddit, a thread titled HMX4 is someone we all know hit 30,000 upvotes in under 6 hours. On Twitter, People began digging up old photos, old interviews, old disagreements, old partnerships. On Instagram, hundreds of accounts posted, "Who did Charlie cut off years ago?" Even celebrities chimed in. A singer tweeted, "This is sounding like a shadow network. Scary." A former reality star wrote, "Charlie deserves better, period." A famous political commentator posted, "If HMX tried to influence him through Erika, that's beyond messy. That's dangerous." But the single most disturbing reaction came from someone allegedly close to Charlie's family. This person posted anonymously. He wasn't scared of Erika. He was scared of who she was connected to. That message sent shockwaves across every timeline. And then, just when the internet was already drowning in theories, Jaguar Wright returned with a voice message to her private subscribers. A devastating one. She said, "You're all asking who HMX is. You're all asking who the main contact was. Let me tell you this. The person behind HMX wasn't new. They weren't unknown." Charlie recognized the voice on the recordings immediately. Fans were stunned. Recognized the voice? That means Charlie knows exactly who HMX Contact 2 is. Jaguar continued. "He said it himself. I'm not dealing with that person again." But Erika already was. That sentence alone set the internet on fire. People began listing every single person Charlie once had friction with. But Jaguar didn't stop there. She ended her message with the darkest hint yet. The thread she saved, the one his people are holding, it has a signature at the bottom. And when that signature is revealed, the entire industry will gasp. A signature, meaning the HMX messages weren't anonymous. They were sent by someone confident enough to sign their name. Someone high-ranking, someone protected, someone Erika willingly collaborated with. And according to Jaguar, the signature belongs to someone who once tried to control Charlie directly. Fans lost their minds. People demanded the reveal. People begged for the full screenshot. People accused insiders of hiding the truth. People flooded Mickey McCoy's wife with messages begging her to drop the thread. But the insiders closest to the situation kept repeating the same line. "It's coming." And one more chilling message leaked. Charlie knows exactly who HMX4 is. And when the world finds out, they'll understand why he felt trapped. The final twist didn't creep in quietly. It didn't unfold gently. It didn't build. It hit hard, cold, and in a way that made even the most jaded insiders stop in their tracks. Because after days of panic, leaks, accusations, deleted messages, anonymous insiders, and the terrifying emergence of the HMX network, the truth didn't break from a staffer. It didn't break from a donor. It didn't break from a journalist. It didn't even break from Jaguar Wright. It broke from the one person Charlie trusted least to ever speak again. Someone who had once been close. Someone cut off years ago. Someone the internet never expected to resurface in this story. The person whose name appeared at the bottom of the HMX thread. But before their name leaked, before their identity spread, before the shockwave hit, something else happened behind the scenes. Something far more chilling. A source close to Charlie revealed that, months before the fallout, Charlie confided a terrifying truth. "I think she's talking to someone I blocked years ago. Someone I never wanted in my life again." Blocked. Cut off. Pushed out. That alone sent Reddit into meltdown. But it wasn't until the source added the next line that everything snapped into focus. He said the person was obsessed with influence. Obsessed with controlling narratives. Obsessed with guiding him. The internet froze. Obsessed? This wasn't political strategy. This wasn't mentorship. This wasn't advice. This was fixation. And if the HMX messages were real, keep him calm, keep him compliant. Pressure forces compliance. Distance him from his parents. then that fixation had already escalated into a covert operation. But the darkest truth of all? The HMX thread wasn't old. It was recent. Screenshots proved timestamps from only months before the fallout, meaning Erika wasn't speaking to someone from her past. She was speaking to someone actively trying to claw their way back into Charlie's life. But here's where the real nightmare began. At 2:17 a.m., a burner account posted the first half of the HMX thread, the half with Erika's messages. It was damning, it was manipulative, it was terrifying, but it wasn't the bomb. The second half, the half with HMX Contact 2's responses, was posted 6 minutes later. And at the bottom of the screenshot, barely visible, half-cropped, but unmistakably real, was a signature, not initials, not a username, not a cryptic code, a full name. The internet erupted in hysterical confusion. People began zooming in, enhancing, brightening, sharpening, trying desperately to read the blurred final line. Comment after comment flooded in. Whose name is that? Is that who I think it is? OMG, it looks like a celebrity name. No way. We need the full image now. But then, just as the second half of the screenshot began spreading, the burner account deleted itself. Not the post, the entire account. Gone. Wiped. Erased. And now millions of people were stuck with a half-blurry signature that looked hauntingly familiar but not clear enough to confirm. Jaguar Wright jumped on Instagram with one statement. The signature is real. Charlie recognized it instantly. That's why he felt trapped. That single line changed everything. Because if Charlie recognized the signature instantly, then the person behind HMX wasn't a stranger, wasn't foreign, wasn't hidden. They were someone who had once been directly in Charlie's life. Someone he trusted enough to let in, someone he cut off for a reason, someone who couldn't let go. But the biggest shock came from a former TPUSA insider. When Charlie saw the thread, he went silent. He said, "I knew it. I knew it." And then he walked out of the room. Walked out, not angry, not yelling, not shocked, confirmed. Like he had spent months fearing it, years sensing it, and now finally seeing it in writing. But because the signature was blurry, the public still didn't have a name. And that's when everything turned insane. 3 hours later, a new message dropped from a different anonymous account. You all saw the wrong leak. There's a second screenshot. The internet lost its mind. A second screenshot? People begged, pleaded, spammed comments, demanded the drop, but the account didn't post the screenshot. Instead, it posted one final message. I won't leak the signature. Someone close to Charlie will, very soon. Meaning, Charlie's circle has the clear image. They know the name. They're deciding whether to expose it. And then, a chilling voice note leaked from someone who claimed to be a friend of Charlie's parents. In the recording, a man says, Charlie was right. He was trapped, not by Erika, but by the person behind her. That's where the audio ends. And the cliffhanger? A message from Jaguar Wright posted at 4:01 a.m. I know the name, and when it drops, the entire timeline will freeze. And now, with everything we've uncovered, Jaguar's leaks, the HMX messages, the shadow network, the emotional manipulation, the pipeline, the isolation tactic, the whispered warnings, Charlie's fear, the distorted power dynamics, the blurred signature, the sudden account deletion, and the chilling confirmation from those closest to him. One thing is undeniable. The real story hasn't even started yet. Because the screenshot we saw, the cropped image, the half-visible signature, that wasn't the full truth. That wasn't even half of it. Somebody sitting very close to the inner circle, is holding the full thread with the full signature, with the full name of the person Charlie recognized instantly. And when they leak it, everything collapses. Everything breaks open. Everything shifts. So now I need you. Yes, you watching this video right now. Tell me in the comments, who do you think signed that message? Who do you think Erika was taking orders from? Was it a strategist, a donor, a pastor, a media figure, an ex-associate? Or, as some are whispering, someone Charlie once trusted at the deepest level? Drop your theories below because trust me, this comment section is going to explode. And if you want to be first in line when the unblurred screenshot finally drops, first when Jaguar returns with the full name, first when the insider breaks their silence, first when Charlie's circle decides to finally expose the person behind HMX, then do this right now. Hit like so. This story spreads and forces more insiders to come forward. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter when the real villain is revealed. Turn on notifications because the leak could drop tonight, tomorrow, next week. And the second it does, I will break it down piece by piece. Because this story isn't over. The biggest twist hasn't been exposed. And the person behind HMX? Their name is coming, and when it hits the internet, everything changes.